My name's Amy Worth. I'm an artist and I like to work in collage. I give a collage workshop at my gallery in Greenport, New York, and can't give that workshop anymore because we're all home. So I thought I'd put this video together because this is something that anyone can do, and you can do it at home, and you really don't need very much in the way of art supplies. You can do this if you are an artist or if you have never made any art before. And so here it is. Here's some of my work. These are a couple of landscapes. I work from photographs for these collages and photographs that I take. You'll be working from images that you can find, whether it's a photograph or an image in a magazine. It could be anything. It could be a piece of fruit. It could be a flower from a catalog, from a seed catalog. It could be a face from a fashion magazine. It could be a product. It could be dishwashing liquid, a drink, lemonade, a glass of lemonade or something. I had started to put images together to show you what you could do, but I think I'd have copyright problems if I did that, so I'm working from one of my photographs. But whatever you choose to collage, keep it simple. It should really be something that's on the simple side. This is an old photograph of me with friends. This would be a bad idea. Too much detail. So you don't want to do anything like that. I chose a photograph. This is actually part of a larger photograph that I can't find. It's part of a larger landscape. And it's just the sea and the sky and a little bit of land in the foreground. It's stripy like that because this has been photoshopped, but I'm going to simplify it. The first thing you want to do once you've identified what you want to collage is to get something to work on. I work on board. You can work on cardstock if you have it, and if you don't have it, you can work on the other side of a cereal carton or a Kleenex box. So it doesn't have to be anything special. You should have what you need in that way. The only special thing that you might need is glue stick. And I don't know of a substitute for that, but you'll need glue stick. Scotch tape, and you'll start by taping your photograph down at the top, but just at the top. And you'll be retaping this photograph as you go along, and again, only at the top. You don't need to tape it all the way around. And after you do that, you're going to take a pen and trace the outside of that photograph. Okay, and then just give yourself some, if that line was extended there and down here, you want to see basically where that photograph sits. And if you have the top and the bottom and the size of it like that, it'll help you later on. Like that. Okay, now we need to get this photograph traced onto this paper or this board. And you're going to do that with a piece of carbon paper or tracing kind of paper. So this is something that I got from, I think it was like a penny saver, or you could use the newspaper. Anything with a lot of ink on it will work as a transfer paper, as a carbon paper. Magazine paper that's very dark like this doesn't work. It doesn't come off when you press on it. See this, if you press on it, it makes a line. So make sure that when you pick your photo up and put this down, you put it down with the carbon side down. Okay, and I'm just going to trace the most basic areas of this photo. I'm going to trace where the sky meets the sea and where the land meets the sea, and maybe this little area down there. That's all I need. There's a little tiny bit of fence there. I'm going to leave that to the very last. I'm going to put that in, but leave it to the last. So when you trace, you want to trace with something other than a pen. Because if you took a pen to your photo or to your picture, whatever it is you're collaging, you'd make marks on it. You don't want to do that because you're going to be referring back to that photo. You don't want to mess it up. So use anything sharp. A key will do. Or a pen that has no ink in it, that works really well too. So just go over, press over those lines and check and make sure it's gone through. It has. again, just the basic area that you want. You're not going to paint or press in the grass or anything. No little details. Just some very, very basic elements to this. That's really all you need. Okay, the next thing you need to do is find the colors and find the values. And that's the part that's going to take a long time to do. I've chosen some and cut them out before, but that will take some doing. What you want is to find the right color. I'm going to look for something, around that value and color. Value is what you're looking for. Now, color is blue, yellow, red, but value is how light or dark those colors are, and that's very important. That is the most important part of this project. Lots of collage projects, you would look for a tree for a tree or grass for grass. This is a little bit different. I don't do that with mine. I am just looking for the value and the color, and I don't look for what it is. When I do a portrait in collage, I never use an eye for an eye or a nose for a nose. I'm just looking for what's happening in those areas, in the different areas where that value is changing and where the color is changing. And that's hard to find, but it's fun to find, and it does take your mind off other things doing a project like this. So for the sky area, one of the things I like to use are cancel checks, or checks that you put in electronically and then don't know what to do with. I cut them up, and they really work very nicely. They have little patterns in them, stripes, and the value is good. So there, something like that would work there. This is a really pretty blue, and it would make a beautiful sky. But let's look at it against this sky. No, way too dark. How about for the sea? Not really. It's too dark for the sea too. So the value is the most important thing. You can go a little off with the color, but you can't go off with the value. It has to be the same lightness or darkness. And you can tell if it is by just putting it next to it. Now there, it starts to get close there. The value starts to get close. So you're going to take the photograph off, or your image off, and put it to the side and look for those values, and then you're going to use the glue stick right on the board and put your papers down and press. Okay, this can get a little messy. You can put your glue right over the last piece you did. That works. If you put something down and you don't like it, you can always go right over it with different paper. So I have that little line in there. I want to get that out of the sky, so I'm just going to tape right over that with the next piece and go over it with the glue. There are different ways to do this. There are lots of different ways to do collage, and some people like to work with a paper next to them and turn the piece over and put the glue on here and then put it on that way, and that's another way to work. And that's a slightly, it's not as messy, but I just like to put the glue right on it, and there you go. Okay, so I'm putting my last piece of sky down here, and can you see what's happened? I brought that sky down into the sea area, so I've lost that line. But that's not a problem. If you lose lines like that, and you will, you just put the photograph back over it, make sure it lines up with the lines that you've made. That's why those extended lines help. Retape it. Take your carbon paper or magazine paper, put it over the area you want to define. Take your sharp object. And make a new line. And there it is. So that's defined again. So you know where you put the C, where that C is going to go. I like to work from back to front. That's always a good idea to do, back to front. So you're going to look to the sky, which is in the back, and then the sea seems to come forward from there, and then the foreground would be the land. So back to front and big to small. You're going to paint or collage the big areas in and not worry about the details. So back to front and big to small. I'm going to put some C in, see if I can find something that works well, is the same value. That looks pretty good. The color is different. It's a different color, but that's okay. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm really just worried or wondering or concerned with the value, because that's what's going to make it read like this picture. This is representational. So collage does not have to be representational. You can do it any way you want, but this technique is representational, and so I want to get those values correct. Think of the values as if you took a picture in color and then turned it into black and white. That is value, and you can really see the value in that way. If you take a picture on your phone, I think you can turn it into black and white, and that's value. And that picture, you'll be able to tell what's going on. It won't have color, but you'll have all the information that you need because the value is there. Okay, I think you can see what I'm doing with this. Filling in the different bits, watching the value, watching the texture, doing it bit by bit. You could try and find something that is that whole area and put that down. There's an artist named Ken Cooley, K-E-W-L-E-Y, and he works in collage, and his work is, a lot of it's representational, and it's very interesting what he does. And there's another artist named Gabby Trinkhaus, G-A-B-I-T-R-I-N-K-A-U-S, and she's German. She's from Germany, and she does huge portraits, and they're really interesting too. So collage is a medium that you can use in a representational way. And if you can trace something and just look for the value and the color, really that value, you can create an image and have fun doing it and relax. So here is one that I completed, and this one was done on the back of a tea box. So that works. Put a mat over it, and there it is. So this is fun, it's easy, and if you make some, be sure to send me some images. I'd love to see them.